would like to add to the points that you mentioned. We are talking about personas and we are talking about pinpoint focus on people. So I just wanted to share an example of a large consumer product company. What they realized was traditionally they were doing segmentation once in a year through some market research projects and looking at how their customer segments were changing. Recently they started tracking the digital media and how their personas are changing. And what they realized was the segmentation was not just dynamic by customer profile, but also the time of the day. For example, the beverage that someone consumes in office versus so having an office meeting would be different from the beverage they would consume with friends outside, even if it is the same cola product. So in some cases you saw that people were preferring cola, like Coca-Cola more than a Pepsi. In certain cases where they are going to have fun, they would say, I would prefer a Pepsi against a Coke. And then when they were out for something else, for a holiday or something, they would prefer a can instead of a bottle. So whatever was available at that location would work. So I think the customer segmentation has also become much more dynamic, and people don't have time to wait for 2 months, 3 months of research. So that's one major change that I think consumer product companies are saying. Customer segmentation across the time of the day.
Well, I completely agree, and I would just want to bring two interesting examples, one from B2B and one is B2C. And I would kind of differ with the point just made by you that in B2B digital cannot have that kind of an impact the way it can have in B2C. Well,
to clarify, I said B2B will have that impact. Attribution models are not in place across B2B and B2C.
Absolutely.
Attribution.
Thanks. So I would just want to bring in an example, and it is very much an Indian example that we've practiced. So as a marketing services company, we work with a lot of IT high-tech companies in helping execute their marketing campaigns, whether it is events and webinars and stuffs like those. Till about a few years back, it was a very straightforward model. You call people to invite for an event, they come, you give them a physical feedback form, they fill it, that data gets entered, it goes to the sales team, and the process follows. Now, recently for a very large technology client, they were talking about consumer experience and the impact of digital in consumer life. So we said, okay, while we are preaching that, let's practice that. So we decided to go paperless completely throughout the conference, whether it is the invitation process or the way people respond while they are attending the conference or their social behavior capturing, everything was paperless. And interestingly, we saw people, talking about that particular technology in that conference. A simple example, how do you invite? We all know, we all get as marketers several number of emails inviting you to some or other conference. We tried doing something differently for that brand. We said, okay, we'll send links, a video link of an invitation in an SMS, because WhatsApp doesn't allow that, right? To our surprise, the SMS click rate was phenomenal. It was 70% plus, where people clicked that because we all knew that the kind of audience we are inviting is going to use smartphones. Now the challenge is try guidelines. It doesn't allow us to send messages like that. So while there are layers which helps you, restrict certain practices in the interest of consumers, but there are way to turn around the experiences. The ask on us was still about 4 years back that the feedback has to be turned around in 48 hours. Well, it is 4 hours now. Can you beat that? If the conference ends tonight, the feedback has to now, do you think without technology it is possible to achieve? So we make people fill up electronic forms, data gets submitted, it is linked back in to somebody's CRM system in my client organization, the data gets qualified as ABC leads and so on and so forth. That's the change we are living in. Another is a B2C example. I'm not supposed to talk much about it, but I would quickly give you a view of how big data and some of these things are coming into action and how it is changing the marketing strategy. This is an example from one of the European campaigns that we are working on, which is scheduled to go live sometime around 2016 and with Christmas of 2016. Now here, a large music aggregator, the likes of Savan in India or a Gaana.com in India, is working very closely with a sensing devices company, the likes of what you all wear, wearables, along with an e-commerce company which captures a lot of demographic data about that customer, what do they buy, what's their age group, etc. Now, these three players are coming together to create a custom campaign. You have all seen the Coke's example yesterday, right? The award-winning Coke's campaign, you drink an ad in the SAP presentation. Now, something similar like that is going to impact certain amount of consumers, the way they listen to radios in a particular set of cars of a major European brand. So the campaign goes like this. We are trying to arrive at a common consumer base who buys from that particular e-commerce platform, who listens to a music platform, who drives a certain type of car. Now, what is next? The next is we are trying to get them music across in their cars or on their iPhone basis the mood that they would be into. Marrying that data with their demographics, telling me what is their age, psychographics, what they buy. So the sensor will tell me that have they just returned from a tedious working exercise, a high calorie burning exercise? Have they just woken up? Are they going to sleep? So basically your pulse tells your mood to a certain extent. Combined with your demographics, they would be recommended certain amount of music on their phones, in their connected devices in the car. Now that's the next wave of thinking, and the marketeers typically becomes actually the creators of something like this along with their technology partners. Now, if that really happens, and if the Coke can make people drink at, I'm sure you can make people listen to music basis their mood. So it's a fascinating age we are living in.
See, there's another aspect of technology, what it's bringing into marketing. We can say, okay, there are so many tools, there are so many metrics, so many methods that we can use. One other thing that I have noticed that is happening is, like, it also brings in stark focus the processes we as marketeers follow. So the decision makers in organizations, the people who have to allocate budgets, everything, now can say, okay, what do the numbers say? In terms of justifying ROI, etc. So what it has brought into clear focus is, what are the processes or how do we go about doing what we do? Then, now, there was a time probably when we could just throw ad money at, creating campaigns, and everybody said, okay, now it's intangible, the value, it will come. So now, gone are those days. Now, everything is measurable to certain degrees, and then we have to justify with numbers as to exactly how a particular campaign is performed, or what is the kind of footfall it has generated, either digitally or really. So these are things that, in some ways, there is a hesitancy to embrace technology wholesale, because it also puts the magnifying glass back on us, right? Yeah, so it is double-edged, really, and that is the nature of things going forward. We can say, okay, now I can pinpoint with so much accuracy what's the mood in the car, etc. But my CFO and CEO can also pinpoint how exactly that particular campaign performed. Yeah. So it falls on us to not only look with some degree of honesty as to how we do what we do, what are the processes we do in terms of managing content or etc. So the job is much more complex now. So then what will aid in that? What really I have seen is to get back to basics, and you have to collaborate with all functions within the organization. So not only has technology made it much more easier to see outside what's happening, now it's also much more clearer what's happening within the function also. So that's something we need to deal with.
Yep. Okay. Just to kind of take it from there, I think there's a lot of change that's happened in the culture of the organization. I have had many occasions where the CEO has come down and say, what's happening here? Can we pick up this trend? Is this something that we can kind of do this quickly? I think somewhere I've heard this quote that culture eats strategy for breakfast. And that's kind of, that's evident that the culture of the old and the past cannot kind of sustain in today's new age technology. Most often, the C-suite today looks up to marketing to figure out that there is a buzz that they've heard of, there is a new tool that's coming up, or there's a new wave that's going to hit the market sometime. Can we kind of ride that wave? So what has marketing done to kind of catalyze is that they have built the external agency inside the organization. The external ad agency, the external PR agency today is in some form or shape available within the marketing function. Marketeers have kind of built up a team, frontline team of people who are tech savvy, a team of content writers, a team of digital strategists who can kind of help them ride that wave. One person probably can't wear this hat, so they kind of leverage the young talent that's kind of savvy with these tools and say, boss, this is something that we need to kind of pick up. Here is the window of time. Can you learn this skill set? And can we kind of hit this mark by this particular time or with this kind of investment? I think this shows that we have kind of left our old shoes back. We have kind of put on the running, jogging shoes, and we have kind of gone out and said, yes, we need to embrace this change. And we are kind of doing it with a slight fear, but with a slight hope that it will take us through. And there's a certain sense of faith that, yes, we will reach the other end, because the company's faith and trust relies on us to help it ride this wave.
I completely agree with you. And one of my very recently found mentors coined a term, marketing, to which I can relate to, while he said that we need to actually build in an internal internal agency within the organization, and I'm very sure that each one of us here present in this room will have been touched by technology, and it's only 11 o'clock in the morning, and we already have had multiple touches with technology and the way in which different marketeers would have tried to reach us in 3 to 4 hours since time we are awake. So I'll open the floor for any questions, any suggestions, any thought-provoking, disruptive experiences that each one of us may have had in the recent past that can contribute to this discussion. I thank each one of you, the panelists, as well as audience, for this discussion. Thank you so much.